Hello and welcome to Vegetarian Sushi with Shark Librarian Heidi from Baxter Memorial Library. I'm going to show you how to make sushi today with using fresh vegetables and also teach you about sharks. Why? Because I love sharks. Hopefully you love sharks. And I've been thinking lately about how we're all interconnected so much, like all the choices we make affect not only ourselves, but other people and other animals and just our environment in general. So I wanted to give you some options for doing recipes like sushi. All right, so we're gonna get started. So I cannot work like this, can I? My flippers have to go. So we're going back to human hands because those are the best for making sushi. All right. Maybe I have some adults listening too, not just the kiddos. And I'll tell you, when you bring sushi to a party, it's gone within 10 seconds. I get known for making this sushi when I used to go out places, and they'd say, "Oh, did you bring sushi?" And it would be one of the most popular things. And it's so easy to make. So one of our first ingredients is the rice. The rice is super important, but I wanted to show you guys this. This is a sheet of nori. Nori is seaweed, and it's just been pressed into the sheet because this is what we're going to hold all our ingredients in. So it's at a shiny side, smooth shiny side, and then a rough side. It's also shiny, but you'll be able to tell the difference. And if you can't, it's really not that big a deal. All right, so I'm gonna set that down on a towel, my nori sheet. And I'm using a towel because I don't have a sushi mat. Sushi mat is long bamboo skewers that are all put together in a mat, and it rolls your sushi roll so nice and tight. I have one, I just don't know where it is. So we're gonna be using a towel today, which works almost as well. And you don't really need a whole lot of specialty equipment to make most foods. So this is a good one to make. So you've made your rice. Let's just pretend you've made your rice and you've chosen a medium grain. I did not have a medium grain rice, which is nice because when you have medium grain, it is a perfect consistency for sushi. And so most chefs use that. I didn't have any, so I used jasmine rice. So you'll be able to see, you can really adapt recipes to make them work for you. So I have right here my jasmine rice. It smells so good. All right, so jasmine rice, and you cool your rice and rinse it very, very well. You want nice firm pieces of rice, and you don't want to over stir your rice when you're making it because you want each grain to be perfect. Sorry, I shouldn't use the word perfect. You want each grain to be as good as it can be. And what you're going to be adding to your rice is something called rice vinegar. I've chose a seasoned rice vinegar. And the reason I chose that is because if you get normal, just regular rice vinegar, you have to add sugar and salt to it and mix it all together and then use that. So if you get a seasoned one, your one step is going to be just adding it to your rice. And I like the simplicity of that. So I am adding some rice vinegar. I've already added some, so I'm just showing you a little bit. The recipe will be online after, so you don't need to be writing anything down. You can just be watching and kind of getting some tips. You're gonna want to stir your rice around gently. It kind of helps with the separation. And notice I'm using a bamboo spoon. The reason I'm using bamboo and not a metal spoon is because this is vinegar, it will react to the metal. So you're gonna want to have a nice bamboo spoon. Okay. And I should mention too, if you don't enjoy nori, I'm going to show you how to make a separate type of sushi that does not use seaweed. And that way you can try it that way too if you don't want. But just really try it, kiddos. I think you're going to love it. All right, so we're going to spread our rice onto our nori about half an inch thick. So you're going to want to cover the whole thing except for an inch at the top. So I am going to be pressing this rice down onto this nori sheet except for 1 inch at the top, because when I roll it, that inch is going to be what's going to hold my roll together. I have some water here, and I've put a tiny, let's put a little more, tiny bit of the rice vinegar, because I'm going to dip my fingers in the water, and that's going to help the rice not stick to my fingers. See, it makes it spread a lot easier. And you don't have to be too fussy. Just push it out to the edges, spread it out so it's covering the nori sheet. So while I'm doing this, maybe I can tell you that there are over 400 species of shark in the world. And unfortunately, some are having some issues right now. People are fishing for sharks and using their fins for shark soup and sport fishing them. So sharks are having a little bit of trouble right now. And there's a lot of pollution in the ocean. So all that sounds sad. But one thing I want to tell you that you can do to help is make some choices that help sharks, like not use as much plastic. Like instead of going somewhere and getting takeout and getting plasticware, which eventually ends up in the ocean. A lot of our trash ends up in the ocean. You can use reusable stuff, like when you go to the restaurant, have your bamboo, and straws are a big issue. I think we're all realizing that. So if you have a reusable straw, that's a great thing to have. I have a reusable straw that I bring with me, and I wash it when I get home, and then I put it back in my purse, so I always have a reusable straw. I know a lot of people are doing that. I think it's great. All right, so that's a couple of the things you can do. And why should we care about sharks? Let's see. I think I've got my rice down pretty good. Maybe a little bit more. Why we should care about sharks is because they are apex predators in the ocean, which means they are the top of the food chain. And if you know a little bit about food chains, you know that they all the animals and all the things on a food chain depend on each other. So if we have less sharks because of pollution or overfishing, then we might have more seals, which sounds great because you're like, oh, seals are great. But what happens is if you have too many seals, they're going to eat all the fish. And if they eat all the fish, there won't be anything to eat all the plankton and the green stuff that grows in the ocean. And it's all connected. And then we get a lot more pollution in the water, and we won't have fresh, clean water to swim in and play in and just enjoy. So really, it's very, very important to have your sharks to eat the seals that are older or slower, so that the seals don't starve, so the seals can eat the fish and the fish can eat the green, because that's the way it's meant to be. And that is the food chain. So it's important to keep sharks. They're very beneficial to our oceans. So we are making good choices for sharks today. Let's see. They're getting all sticky here. All right, so this is vegetarian sushi. We are going to be using vegetables. So I have cut up cucumbers into these little, I think they call them matchsticks. So just little cucumbers that are cut up. You're gonna wanna get some help with this because I used a sharp knife and cut them pretty small because they're gonna be wrapped up. So each of these I'm putting in a line on the bottom of my wrap. So I've left this top part here blank. There's no rice on it or anything, but then there's a line down at the bottom of my vegetables, which right now is just my cucumber that's been seeded, because you don't want, again, you don't want your sushi to be too wet. So you're gonna wanna seed your cucumbers, which is good because I ate all the seeds this morning. I just scooped them out and ate them all. So delicious. All right, and I've also chosen carrots. I like carrots, but they're also very, very colorful and make a beautiful look to your sushi as well. So, put the carrots in. And you might be asking, well, doesn't sushi have fish? Well, it typically does. And if fish is something you want to add to your sushi, you can definitely do that. And one of the things I would mention is to make sure you're getting fish that hasn't been overfished and hasn't harmed sharks in some way and is healthy for you. You could go to seafoodwatch.com. Monterey Bay has a special website. Monterey Bay Aquarium, I should say, has a special website, and they have healthy, nutritious seafood that hasn't been overfished and that you could be eating and adding to your sushi. So that is just one of the choices you could make that would be a better choice for sharks and for the world. So sushiwatch.com. I'll put it on with the recipe. Oh, sorry, seafoodwatch.com. All right, so I've wet my fingers again because we are ready to roll. This is the tricky part because everything just wants to fall all over the place. But if you pick up just the edge of your towel, and you can see all your vegetables kind of tumble a little bit, try to keep everything tightly in because we are going to roll it. So as your sushi roll, your nori with your vegetables in it is rolling forward, you're slowly peeling back the towel or sushi mat, if you know where yours is, and you're tucking everything in nice and tight. Oh, this looks good. There. Then, with your hand, go to your little thing of water with the rice vinegar, tiny bit of rice vinegar in it, and you're gonna wanna seal your sushi roll. You just put it over, almost like the water is glue, and you kind of paint the ends where the end of your sushi is. And that seals it. Nice. All right, here's our roll. And of course, we're not gonna eat it like this, are we? I am gonna get out my cutting board. Look at my cutting board. I absolutely love this. My friend Deanna bought me this a while ago, and I use it every single time I need to cut something. I pull it out and I think of my friend Deanna. So that is a nice thing to have. Maybe you have a gift someone gave you and you think of them every time you use it. It may be my favorite thing in my kitchen, actually. All right. So this is something you're definitely going to want help with because you need a very sharp knife. So I'm using a sharp knife and I'm going to wet it a tiny bit so that it doesn't stick. And I'm going to cut my sushi. You can make probably 8 nice rolls from this. There. Look how pretty that is with the little green spiral and the orange of the carrot and the little cucumber here. It's so sweet looking. Whoops. And then you can just put these on a tray. I'm gonna cut maybe one more here. Oh my gosh, this one looks even better. That happens sometimes as you keep going in. And so remember, you're gonna want your caregiver, whoever's with you, to keep wetting this knife so the rice doesn't stick, because mine is starting to stick, but I don't wanna take a break to wash it. But here, I've got more rolls of sushi. So that's what it should look like. can serve sushi with some nice dipping sauce. Well, this right here is wasabi, which is related to the mustard and horseradish family. It's just a plant, and they've made like a mustard out of it. But let's see what we got. It's very, very spicy, but they usually serve sushi, I hope you can see that, with a nice little dot of mustard. Oh, sorry. Nice little dot of wasabi. I love wasabi. You can put that down. And then also, people also like it with soy sauce. You can put a little soy sauce in. And, geez, I don't think I brought out my, can't believe I forgot my sweet chili sauce. This is my favorite. I think probably because it has a lot of sugar in it. It tastes really good. All right, I want to show you this because it looks lovely. And if you were going to a party, do you think people would like to see this? You've got your dip, get your wasabi, soy sauce, Thai chili sauce. Yum. And let's see, maybe we should try this. I don't know, last time I tried the muggle cake, I had my mouth full. I think that's what's going to happen again. Well, I know it's delicious because I make it. I haven't made it in a little while, but I'm certain that it's delicious. So put that there. And I promised you I'd show you a different way of making sushi. So let's do this one really quickly too. This is a cucumber that's not peeled. I cut it into a nice little wheel here. Now I'm going to scoop out the insides, but not all the way down. I'm going to leave like a little layer on the bottom. Can you see that? I can almost see through this cucumber because there's a tiny bit of the seeds left on the very bottom. And the reason, there, you can even eat the insides. Oh, yum. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to add some ingredients to it. You can add a tiny bit of your sushi rice to it. That is yummy looking. And look, some carrots. There, and so here's another way you can make a sushi roll, is just by using a cucumber if you don't enjoy the nori, which some people don't. And so this would look lovely too. You could even trim these cucumbers, just take some kitchen scissors and trim it up, and then you have a nice little cucumber sushi, and people might like that too. And you can use the same dipping on it too. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed cooking with me. I enjoyed cooking with you. I don't do it that often, but it's always fun when I do, and I will see you later. Bye.